Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Meadowbank. For the first time this season, we have the Advertiser trophy between Dorking Wanderers and Leatherhead. It's a nice evening here, pretty good weather, not too hot, be a good pre-season game for the lads. They're coming off the back of two pre-season games, the first away to Bourne, which was a 7-0 win, and a 2-2 draw with Barnet. The visitors have come off the back themselves of a few friendlies. They have beat Sutton Academy 5-1, lost to Cobham 1-0, and most recently beat Knapp Hill 8-0 on Saturday. Up now with the Wanderers team news, we have number 1 Harrison Folkes, number 2 Brennan Camp, number 46 Louis Annesley, 37 George Frankham, 18 Luke Moore, Josh Taylor, number 17, and number 6, Niall McManus in front, with Frank Brinton off the left, new signing, and number 7, Jimmy Mewett on the right. Leading the line is Captain Charlie Carter and Alfie Rutherford. We unfortunately don't have any team news from Leatherhead, and there is quite a lengthy squad list, so I won't go into that, and I will make up the team news when the lads come out. There's a few more games planned for Dorking in the coming weeks. Next up will be Sholing away on the 19th of July before the next home pre-season friendly against Aldershot. I mentioned it briefly before, but the most recent game for Dorking was a closed doors friendly against Barnet. on Saturday, where the result was 2-2. Barnet now being a League Two side, pretty competitive competition. The goal scorers being Alfie Rutherford and Dan Pybus. A good free kick, I heard. Looking forward to welcoming Louis Annesley, Frank Vincent, and hopefully Denon off the bench tonight for their Meadowbank debut. I also have the bench for Dorking to talk you through. We have number 4, Tony Craig, number 5, Dan Pybus, the goal scorer from the weekend. We will then have Lewis. We have 2 trialists in 14 and 15. Number 30, Herbert. Number 31, Jutta Caballero. 32, Jax. 34, Ewan. And 35, Saunders. First few of the lads making their way out now onto the bench. As much as we don't know the starting team from Leatherhead, I can tell you a little bit about who's been playing well, and we're expecting them in a 4-3-3 this evening, as they have played in for their last few games. Leatherhead finished 8th last season, in quite a competitive season, and as I mentioned, a really big result on the weekend. A few new players, I think it's 6 or 7 in total that I've counted from their side, and a few that have made a bit of a name for themselves. Hogan scored 4 goals in the 3 games so far, and Akimbi has also scored 3. Igazun's also scored 2, so I'm expecting to see those 3 tonight. Hopefully have an update when the players come out in a minute for you. After doing a bit of digging into this game from previous years, we can definitely expect some goals. The last 5 years have had an average of 5 goals per game. 4 of those games have gone Dorking's way and 1 going to Leatherhead. Last season, the most relevant was a 4-1 win away at Leatherhead, with Reece Murphy, Matt Briggs and Alfie Rutherford, who starts today, scoring 2 himself. Here we go then. We're looking, players are nice and ready to come out. Mark White has just strolled onto the pitch, having a little phone call on the way, as he usually does. Says hello to the fans in the bank, and as the last few members of the bench filter through, we're looking all set here at Meadowbank for the start of this Advertiser trophy game. Dorking Wanderers versus Leatherhead. Here we go then. The referees leading the players out onto the pitch. Charlie Carter, the captain for this evening, leading the way. Dorking sporting their brand new home kit for the first time, I believe. Very, very nice. OLBG sponsored. One of 3 very, very strong Macron kits for the season. Leatherhead wearing their classic green with a nice white stripe, white shorts and some lovely green socks. Players just showing their appreciation up to the main stand here. And as I mentioned before, I'd like to give a big, big welcome to Louis Annesley and Frank Vincent for their home debut tonight. Louis, of course, a Gibraltar international, 52 caps. This is his Meadowbank debut. We signed him from National League side Braintree. And Frank Vincent, new in from Dagenham and Redbridge, scored 2 goals on his club debut against Bourne. Leatherhead huddled over to the left of the main stand, and Dorking out here getting ready, limbering up. The refs have just called the 2 captains in. I assume when Leatherhead are done with their huddle, we will be able to get things underway. Be good to see Frank Vincent out here on the left. He's on the near side for us in this first half, just in front of George Frankham. Be nice to see. 3-5-2 from the Wanderers this evening. We'll run through the team news again for anyone that missed it the first time. We have Harrison Folkes in goal, his second season as number 1 for the Wanderers. Back 3 made up of Brennan Camp, new boy Louis Annesley and George Frankham. Luke Moore sat in front of them with Jimmy Muir on the right, Frank Vincent on the left, Josh Taylor and Noel McManus sat in the midfield in front of them 2, and Alfie Rutherford and skipper Charlie Carter leading the line tonight. Alfie has scored already in both friendlies. He was the top Dorking scorer last season and right up the top of the league as well for goal scorers. Expecting a lot from him and hopefully another tonight to continue his pre-season role. Here we go then, we are just about ready to get underway. Dorking Wanderers have the kick. They'll be kicking from right to left here this evening. The bank is nice and packed out for the first friendly, which is great to see in a derby. A lot of Leatherhead fans out for the evening as well, which is always good. Here we go then, underway. And we're off. Ball's back into Luke Morrow. chipped Paris Saint-Germain style into the far corner. It's won by Leatherhead as their number 11 takes it away. Throw in Leatherhead's way. Not that we want to give it up to them, that is. Still working on that team news. We've got 10 of the 11. Just searching for the final one. As the ball is thrown in, Brennan Camp wins the header. Out for another Leatherhead throw-in. One back, just ahead of the front. Niall McManus, foul there for Dorking. As Niall tried to get round his man, he was blocked off, the referee has said. And it's a free kick in the middle third of the pitch, Dorking's way. Luke Morrow is walking over towards it to take it, and Dorking are filling the box, as you'd expect on any normal game. We've got Louis Annesley, Brennan Camp in the middle, big targets there. Luke Morrow looks to go short, he does, into Jimmy Mewett. Jimmy, is he going to give it back? No, he's going to have a little run. Across to Alfie Rutherford out on the right, swings the ball in, deep, but no one there. Cleared by the number 20 for Leatherhead, and won again by Alfie, and Leatherhead come away with it in the left-back position. It's now scrambled about in the midfield. Someone's taken a tumble when it's out for Leatherhead, and they're in here. There's a 3 versus 3, one back very nicely and cleaned up by the Dorking defence. The referee has just stopped the play for a Dorking injury. Quick turnover there by Leatherhead. It was a good move from them. The space opened up as they won the ball in the middle of the park. Foul wasn't given. Not too sure what the injury is here. Alfie and Niran Butler, number 5 of Leatherhead, having a bit of a conversation with the referee. Not too sure what that's about, as they're away from the action. With the short breaking play, I can now confirm the Leatherhead 11. We finally managed to patch it up after the lack of team news from their end. So they have number 1, Sonny Wheeler in goal. Number 4, Alfie Huckle. Number 5, Niran Butler. Number 9, Lucas Franzen Jones. 10, Kane Fitzgerald. 11, Anas Igazun, who's scored a few goals this pre-season already. Kelvin Masango, Ross Stepney, Nathan Hogan, Kareem Akanibi, and Louis Paget. We're back in play. Dorking have just cleared out of their third, and Leatherhead have a hold of the ball. Charlie Carter is going after it, and he's won it back. Alfie in for a 50-50. It's gone Leatherhead's way. They've tried to clear over the top of the Dorking defence, and Brennan has knocked it right back out to them on the edge of the box. Leatherhead have a chance to shoot here, cleared by Louis Annesley, and Charlie has it on the half-turn. Great ball into Niall McManus. There's a bit of space out on the right if he can make it. He can't. Intercepted well, but one back by Niall. Potential foul. Charlie's got it. Cross-field ball. Up to Frank Vincent, won comfortably by the Leatherhead defender. Frank Vincent's up again, and he's won it. He's through, he's having a look. Leatherhead win back there, and they're moving out through the midfield. Foul given the Leatherhead way. A bit of a scramble in the midfield there. Finished off quite nicely by Dorking, but the whistle was long gone. High intensity start from Frank Vincent out here on the left, who looks eager to fight for every ball and run down every possible 50-50. Sonny Wheeler, the Leatherhead goalkeeper, has just put the ball down, and we are getting ready to start play. Expecting this to come over the top. Leatherhead have 4 of their players on the front line. Lofted over Louis Annesley's way and won by the Leatherhead defender, but it's in the safe hands of Harrison Folkes. Out very quickly to Brennan Camp, who's carrying it on the right, intercepted. Luke Morrow's got some space, nice space out on the left. Frank Vincent looks like he's going to attack here down the left. He's having a little run at his man. Round goes George Frankham into Niall McManus in the middle, who takes his man on. Luke Morrow in the middle, nice turn. 2 of them he's done there, and he's back out on the left-hand side. George Frankham now in the left-back position. Plays it in the middle. Dorking look very keen to transition here. It's into Louis Annesley. A lot of space for Brennan. Little bit behind him. Can Brennan get forward here? It's come down the line to Jimmy. Jimmy's taken it inside, across. Can we go full left? Yes, we can. George Frankham, a lot of space to advance into here. Out to Frank Vincent. Tries to play a quick pass into Charlie. Charlie's won it. A little foul on him, but looks like he's playing on. Little chipped ball through. Cleared by the Leatherhead defence, but only as far as Brennan Camp. Brennan has come inside now into Josh Taylor. Josh has come left one more to Niall McManus and into George Frankham. George has come back inside. Again, a lot of space on the right. He's tried a crossfield pass and it's gone through after a bit of confusion. Brennan is now out wide. Edges it to Jimmy. Jimmy a ball in. Cleared by number 5. Up goes Jimmy and Brennan has the ball again. Comes inside on his man, but won back quite confidently. Leatherhead now on the turnover. They have a man running straight through the middle. The number 11 cuts it back in the middle, but Louis Annesley is there to clean up. Nice third man run made by Niall there, but not quite the space for George to play it in there. Brennan's got it out on the right into Jimmy. Nice little touch to the centre. 3 of Leatherhead's men surrounding the midfield. If we could get out of that space, it'd be ideal. Here we go. Made a bit of space out on the left. Alfie's making up some good ground. Can he slip it left into Frank Vincent? Yes, he can. Bit short. Here goes Frank Vincent cutting in, cutting outside on his left. Puts the ball in. No one there for Dorking. Leatherhead come away with it. Cleared up. Once again, just back into Dorking's hands. The ball comes out to Frank Vincent. George tries to make an overlapping run. Slightly gets in his way. George cuts back inside. Out into Charlie. Good early period of dominance for Dorking here. Looking after the ball really, really well. Out into Brennan. Brennan puts the ball in over the keeper's head and out for a goal kick. Good, comfortable start for Dorking. Not forcing anything too early. A few nice crossfield passes and really using that third centre half to open up the space. Sonny Wheeler once again of Leatherhead to pump the ball forwards, looking again at Dorking's left hand side. Chipped up into the middle, free header for Frank Vincent. It's through to Alfie. He looked slightly offside, but he's played on here. And Jimmy's got a one-on-one versus his man. Puts the ball across. Oh, just missed by Charlie Carter, but an absolutely great ball in. Leatherhead have a throw in the far left corner. Dorking seems to be penning them in. There's a few men down the line for Leatherhead to aim for, but not too much after that. Big space in the middle. Luke Morrow's up for that. Niall McManus only out for another throw-in for Leatherhead. Louis Annesley up for the header. Wins it, but it's a little bit up in the air. Has to deal with it again. Very nice touch into Frank Vincent. He's dropped it off. Again, a bit short. George has had to go back. Back into Harrison Folks, who will try to open the game up. He does well for Brennan Camp. And he passes it into Charlie, who's dropped in to create a bit of space. Bit of a tussle, and Charlie's lost out fairly to Leatherhead, who come with it on the left. They've played a through ball, but a little bit too much on it. And it is out for a Dorking goal kick. Harrison's looking to play quick, and he's gone into Louis Annesley in his penalty area with George out on the left now. Leatherhead putting some good pressure on, winning the ball back quite high up in the Dorking half. Good press early on, and a good test for Dorking. Ball's been given straight back to Niall though, and Josh Taylor now on the turn. Gives it through to Charlie, who stepped his man. Jimmy's in here. He's out on the right-hand side. He's beat his man. Alfie's in the middle. Great defending from Leatherhead there. Jimmy's won it back, though, and he's in the box. Can he deliver? It's in. And it is. Great finish by Alfie Rutherford after a ball in from Jimmy Mewett. Great run and a great tussle down in that left-hand corner. At first, I thought it was some really good defending by Leatherhead, but Jimmy does what Jimmy does, and he gets round his man, nicks the ball and squares it really nicely for Alfie Rutherford, who scores in yet another pre-season game. One 0 then for the Wanderers. 9 minutes in as we get back underway. Alfie with another goal in pre-season. The Leatherhead right backs tried to clear down the line, but it's only come out for a throw-in after a miscue. George Frankham has the throw-in on the left-hand side. Looks to come out for Josh Taylor, but it's been intercepted. Leatherhead now have 4 running at goal. They've slipped it left, out wide. Brennan's come out to engage. He's taken one, back out to the left, but the Wanderers have won it back very nicely. Jimmy's now got it out on the right. Looks to look after it, plays it into Charlie, but well won back by the Leatherhead defender. There's a chipped ball over here to the right-hand side. Nothing from the linesman. Their number 19's here on the right. Looks to cut back. Can he cut it? He's got a spare man on his left. Expecting a delivery in. Not the best on the floor and cleared by Luke Morrow to the edge of the Wanderers box. Leatherhead have won it back though. A few twists and turns from the number 4 and a shot on target. Easy for Harrison folks to claim and catch. Harrison gets the game going again down to Brennan Camp. Receives it back off Jimmy again, and then into a bit of space on this right-hand side that Alfie Rutherford's found himself in. We seem to be finding a lot of good space with Charlie and Alfie dropping deep and allowing others to go forward in their space as George Frankham brings it down the left. Frank Vincent in front of him, cuts back inside, looking for Niall. Niall opens up, a lot of space out on that right again with Brennan. Niall decides to turn back in. Charlie's in a pocket again, tries to play a flick-through ball, Leatherhead intercept. But once again back with Dorking. Niall, crossfield ball, tries to play it at that diag, but this time dealt with by the Leatherhead defender. Brennan up for a header, and the Wanderers have it back. A little bit too much on that from Alfie to Jimmy, but Jimmy's got it. Right down by the far touchline. He's come back inside for Brennan. Cross for Morrow, and we're expecting this to come all the way out to the left. Nicely transition. Niall's chipped it over to Frank Vincent. Bobbling ball, he's put him in the corner. Can he go 1v1? He's looking at it. George is on a potential option. Expecting this again to come back out, but it goes into Niall. Niall's flick ball around the corner. Alfie's gambling. Leatherhead keepers gathered it up. Some good interplay by Dorking there. Being fairly patient. A few flick balls around the corner, but they've all been with intent. Nothing lazy as of yet. Very good start from the Wanderers. 12 minutes in. Really using that space well. As I mentioned, the third man. Leatherhead keeper tries to clear long. Bounces out, Wanderers win it, but it's back in Leatherhead hands in the midfield. Looking to use the centre themselves a bit, but Dorking have a good press on. Morrow going. Back to the keeper and Charlie's chasing him down. Pumped long again. Louis going to have quite a lot of these. Lets it bounce. Leatherhead defenders there, but Harrison comes to claim. Gets it out quickly, as we were expecting now, into George. George into Frank Vincent. Big challenge from the Leatherhead defender. Picked up by their number 19. Cut inside. Played it centrally, bit of space out on left. 1v1 versus Brennan Camp. Cuts to shoot. Side netting. Good move from Leatherhead. They look dangerous on the transition. A few balls into the middle from Dorking that Leatherhead have been able to nick. Some good intensity from both sides. Not really playing that much of a pre-season yet. It looks very nice high intensity. As Niall picks the ball up in the middle. Intercepted, but one back. He's got a bit of space to run into now. Jimmy's got space on the left. He's chipped it through to Alfie. Great touch from Alfie. He's 1-on-1 with a goalkeeper on his left. Cuts back inside. Can he find the target? Just wide of the left post. Unlucky. Really good effort from Alfie. I thought he was going to go flying through on his left. Decided to cut back. Dragged it just wide of the post. But another really good move. Niall with a bit of fortune in the middle there after he lost it, won it back, and then found himself a bit of space. But good hustle nonetheless. Up again then from Sonny Wheeler. Louis Annesley's way. The Dorking defenders have let it bounce once again with a bit of confusion between Moore in the midfield and Louis. Brennan has then cut inside, taken his man, and Niall finding a nice little pocket on the left-hand side of midfield. Out to Frank Vincent. Great run from Josh Taylor. Not quite seen in time. Frank Vincent keeps going. Cuts it out to George Frankham. We now have an overload on this side. Frank Vincent's got it on the left, just cutting inside the box. Can he deliver? Looks like a corner for Dorking Wanderers that Frank Vincent has taken over himself. But it looks like Morrow is going to walk over and take this. Dorking just wary here that Leatherhead seem to be leaving 2 up front, with Niall staying as last man and George just in front of him. Morrow is now walking over to take that corner as Frank Vincent gives him a bit of space, but Dorking leaving 3 in the corner and taking it early there. Alfie has the ball. Come out to Morrow. Is he going to look to deliver from there? Tries to cut it through. It's come off for a Dorking throw-in. Dorking are mostly back into their shape, but Yeah, Louis just running back in now. Throw-in taken into Alfie. Back into Alfie's feet. Moro now out here on the left-hand side. Looks for the switch. It's on. Great ball over there. If Brennan can make it, can he? Defender gets there first. And Leatherhead left back cutting inside in his own box. Bit dangerous, but he's made it. Leatherhead now have it on the edge of their own box and look to take it away once again on the turnover. Hounded out a bit in midfield, and Niall picks the ball up as he's assuming the centre-half position. Little nick from the Leatherhead player there on Niall as he passes the ball off slightly late. The referee's blown for a free kick. All good with Niall though, nothing untoward, and a quick restart will likely be what we get. Moro looking for that crossfield pass, but it looks likely that we'll get a quick start, and we have done with the ball going into Josh Taylor. Brennan Camp tries to chip it over the right, but intercepted up in the air. Leatherhead, it's come straight back down the line, and Dorking have won it back. Louis Annesley in the middle now, played centrally into Alfie again, finding that nice deep pocket. Bit of space, and Charlie now in the middle now, taking his man, running at another. Bit of space out on the left. Frank Vincent, once again, one-on-one versus his man. Is he going to run him? He has done the last few times. Looks to take him in the box. Crosses early. Great ball in. Great save from the keeper, but finished off in the end, once again, by that man, Alfie Rutherford. Got to say, a terrific save from Sonny Wheeler at first, but wasn't really helped out by his defence. Alfie Rutherford, once again, on the score sheet. Great early ball in from Frank Vincent. That's the first time he's put one in early doors. We've seen him already in this first 16 minutes run at his man quite a few times and take him in the box and cut inside, but that's the first early ball he's put in. Nicely over to the back post, and seems to have caught the Leatherhead defence out a bit. (2-0) now as Leatherhead get us back underway. Dorking once again pressing hard with Niall doing Niall things. Won very nicely by Brennan. Turned over, and a free kick after Brennan tumbles into the Leatherhead left back. Free kick on the far touchline then. Looks once again like Sonny Wheeler is going to try and test the Dorking defence. A few of these have been a bit challenging. Last one we had a bit of confusion between Moro and Louis Annesley, so let's see how they deal with this one. Sent forwards then by Sonny Wheeler. Louis battling but wins the header quite well. Bit of tussling in there but looked 50-50. Out now on the left hand side for Leatherhead. Standing up his man. Cuts inside there on the edge of the box here. Nicked away nicely, but won again back by Leatherhead. Great press from Dorking as they're hustling and winning the ball back. Leatherhead now have the ball back in the centre half position, and they look to be cutting back across their defence. Square ball into the left hand side of the defence here for Leatherhead. Ball played over the top of Brennan Camp's head. Great ball into the corner. 1v1 now. Brennan wins it back. Dorking way? No, that's been given Leatherhead's way. Throw in the far corner. Leatherhead look to be loading up the box a bit here. Throw-in taken, pinned into the box. Bit of hold-up play from the Leatherhead attacker. Ball whipped in, 1v1 in there. Headers won by Leatherhead, but out more of a defensive header than anything. They now have the ball on the edge of the box, looking to cut it inside, but a little bit too much on that pass. Asking a bit too much of the attacker, and it's out for a Dorking goal kick. 19 minutes played. Good start from Dorking. A little bit of space opening up on the turnover as Leatherhead, as I mentioned before, but nothing too dangerous as of yet. Harrison Folks has got the ball at his feet. Gets it out again to Brennan Camp, who looks to go line for Jimmy. Bit of space, couple of touches. First one flicks off his boot. Taking it round his man and tried to chip it over for Alfie, but not quite worked out for him. Bit of a scuffle in midfield. Over the ball goes over Brennan Camp's head. One back by the Leatherhead defender. Bit of a battle in the corner. Free kick given Dorking's way. Not too much in it, but enough to send Brennan Camp over and for the referee to give a free kick Dorking's way. As Brennan picks himself up off the floor, Harrison gets the game back underway, straight back into Brennan's feet. Brennan across to Harrison, back to Brennan. Brennan cuts inside, finds a bit of space. Dorking trying to get this ball out to the left-hand side where there's space, but struggling a bit. Intercepted by the Leatherhead defender, up to the attackers. They've got the ball on the far left now. Cuts inside the number 9, tries a flick, but a bit too much on it. Caught his wrong foot accidentally. However, they've still got the ball here in the far corner. Trying to win a corner. Has it gone out? No, it hasn't. We're still playing. Jimmy's won it back. Looks like a Dorking throw-in in the defensive half. Brennan then looking to restart. A lot of space out here for Frank Vincent on this far side. He's already had quite a bit of joy against his man 1v1. If the Wanderers can get the ball out here, there'll be a lot of space for him to run into. One back by Leatherhead. Out here by Harrison, and here's the space for Vincent. Can Frankham pass it on? He can, but it's a bit deep for him. Frank's going to need to come in the middle here. He's done well. He's retained the ball with 2 men on him. Into Frankham. Frankham into the middle. One back again. Frankham is on the charge here. Goes past his man into the centre of midfield. Into Josh Taylor, who plays the ball out to the right where the space is. Into Jimmy, out on the touchline, who comes inside. Coming across the midfield. Bit of space for Niall, who receives the ball. Frank Vincent looking for this one-on-one once again. Ball played short into the Leatherhead defender. They turn out in the midfield. Frank running really well to get back into that space to cover for Niall. Leatherhead have the ball at right centre-half position. Played over once again, a little bit too much. Asking a lot of the attackers, they are Leatherhead here. Harrison picks up, plays into Morrow. Morrow carries into midfield. Out to this left-hand side where there's been a bit of joy. Alfie's picked it up in this deep space again. Bit of space inside, plays into Charlie, a lot of joy. Charlie, great ball in. Good interception by the Leatherhead defender. They bring it out, just out of their third, but not too much space. Nice turn in here. They look to go over the top. Doesn't look to play the pass. Bit too tight in there. Good press. Josh Taylor wins it back high. Niall McManus with a lot of space. Jimmy making a good run. Alfie opening some space up. Not quite, but back out to Niall McManus on the edge of the box. Charlie once again tries to take his man out to Frank Vincent. Is he going to whip it again? Looks to go 1v1, cutting inside. Jim's turned. Is he going to shoot? Looks like he might. He has. Deflection safely into the goalkeeper's hands. One of the Leatherhead defenders just down on all fours here. Looking like he's in a bit of pain. Goalkeeper's just throwing it out for him. I think that was from a bit of a scuffle when it got congested in the penalty area just now with Charlie running through. Hopefully nothing too serious as the physio comes on and a few of the lads go off to get a drink and a couple of instructions. Both sets of players now on the far side getting some drinks and some instructions from the respective managers whilst the defender is down. Quite a nice break in play halfway through the game. Dorking have had some really good joy from the pressure and really impressed by both Charlie and Alfie dropping in deep. Charlie up there supporting Alfie in the front two has been really strong, really picking up the ball in space, allowing the wingers to get on. Impressed as well by Frank Vincent down this left-hand side. Looks pretty unpredictable at the moment, which is nice for the first 25 minutes of watching him at Meadowbank. Already an assist to his name. Louis Paget back on his feet then for Leatherhead. Doesn't look anything too bad, but he is walking back over to the dugout, so potentially a forced change for Leatherhead here. Both teams just slowly making their way back out onto the pitch to resume play after that short stoppage. Last few players just wandering back onto the pitch. As we look to get back underway, it is a Dorking throw-in, but this will be going straight back to Sonny Wheeler in the Leatherhead goal as he rolled it out once his player was down. There we go, back underway then. Thrown back in by Captain Charlie Carter. Sonny Wheeler, ball in hand, getting ready to restart again. Looks to be going long again, testing out his Dorking defence. Hit a bit flat, Moro picks it up. Not the best of touches though. And Leatherhead pick it up in the final third. Played into midfield. There's a bit of space out left for them if they can get it. They have done on the left side of their defence. Wingers come deep. Nice through ball played just round Jimmy. Can he make it? He can't. Ball's delivered in. Bit deep. Moro's got his head in, won the ball, but it's bobbling about on the edge of the box. Leatherhead have come away, shot on target, but nothing special. Dribbled straight into the hands of Harrison Folkes, and Dorking get the game underway again with Louis Annesley carrying the ball from the centre of defence. Louis with the expected pass out to Brennan, a bit of space. Josh has made a nice run in. Not quite the ball he hoped, but Josh is going to put pressure on the Leatherhead defender to deal with it. He has done. He's clipped it over the head of Jimmy. He's won it back. Tussling with his man, he's won it well, but back into the Leatherhead midfield. Bit of space out here, asking a lot. There looks to be a foul in here from Frank Vincent. Advantage played though, as Leatherhead 18 looks to deliver. Swings the ball in, it's a good ball, dealt with by Brennan. Frank should have a free header here, middle of the box. Potentially a bit lucky there, maybe in a different game gets a yellow card for that tussle. Kind of held the man back without trying to go for the ball. The ball comes out, back to number 19 again, who's the right side of Frank Vincent. Looks to swing again. Running 1v1 against Frank here. Cutting inside, outside. Looks to chip it in. He does. Quite a good ball. Cleared by the Wanderers. Out to Niall, who clears again. Charlie tussling. Nothing untoward. Headed out by Leatherhead for a Dorking goal kick. Looks like Frank's going to get away with this. Probably in the spirit of it being the first friendly of the season here at Meadowbank. Harrison with the ball at his feet for the goal kick, looking to go short as always. He does so to Louis Annesley and gets it back once again. Not too much on, so he chips a nice ball in. Snapped up by the Leatherhead defender, and it's now on the edge of Dorking's box. Bit of space here, the number 10 picks it up, pretty central. Josh Taylor comes steaming in to try and win it back, under pressure. A few skills from the Leatherhead attacker, but nothing that's making any space. Charlie coming out with the ball, making some space for himself now as he runs at defenders. Tries to play a ball out right to George Frankham. If he can gather it right down in the far corner. Not much on for him. Cuts it back to Jimmy Mewett, who's got a bit of space. Takes his man, comes inside. Cuts back into the Dorking half. But here it is, out to Niall. He's found a nice square ball. Out again to Frank Vincent. Are we going to see another early ball in? No. Cuts back onto his right. A right-footed delivery in. A great flick. What a finish from Charlie Carter that is. Absolutely brilliant finish. Frank Vincent's come back in off his left. Obviously Leatherhead expecting that to go the same as it did last time. Cut back in into his right. Quite flat, but it's popped up really nicely onto Charlie's right boot. He's flicked it right round him, just out of reach of the goalkeeper. One of those Charlie finishes. Very, very great finish. 29 minutes in now at 3-0 to the Wanderers. Second assist of the game for Frank Vincent, who looks very, very tidy out here on the left. Left foot, right foot, we've had both already. 2 assists. Happy days. Leatherhead get us back underway. As the Wanderers fan give Charlie his first serenade of the season here at Meadowbank. Picked up by Niall McManus, trying to get out to that right-hand side of George again, who's doing some good work up there. Played back into the Leatherhead keeper and cleared long. Brennan, free header. Wins it comfortably. Potentially could have took it down, but no risks there. Lofted right up into the sky. Dorking midfield, pick that up, and there it is. Charlie again in that deep pocket. Tries to go past his man, little bit too much. One back by Leatherhead. Bit of a tussle, but Leatherhead have it at the back and have cleared forwards out for a Dorking throw-in. Dorking get the game back underway with a throwback to Louis Annesley at the centre of the defence. Into Harrison Folks and back once again to Louis. Louis carrying it a few steps into Jimmy, once again dropping in into the nice space that we've found ourselves to have. Back into Harrison. Dorking looking to open up the space here. Brennan once again. It's really looked like the two centre halves have found the best of it. George all the way up now, far right. Tries to cut it across, come back off him. Lofted into the box. Unlucky from Charlie. Ball's bounced just before him, up onto his left foot. Tough one to take. That is the first ball of the season lost at Meadowbank. Over the fence and into the trees. Another one of these long boots into the sky from Sonny Wheeler then. Louis looks to attack it confidently this time. Great header, that's what we've been wanting to see this half. Up to Moro, who wins it in the air. Louis again being held back, but he's won it against two players. Really strong from Louis there. And a nice little triangle from Dorking, get us out of trouble. Josh Taylor out to Frank Vincent. Frank Vincent back to Josh, and again to Frank Vincent, and again to Josh. Josh, just one pass too many. Unlucky, but really good football. Advantage to Leatherhead. Number 11 breaks through. It's a 2v1 here. Moro's come across to help. Number 11 cuts inside, looks across, not much for him. Chips to the back post, only as far as Jimmy Muir, who picks the ball up. Could go on one of his runs here. Cuts inside, bit of space in the middle to come back into. Decides to go back into George. Bit of space for Moro, but he's being hunted down. Got to be careful. Tidy, very good from the Wanderers. Louis with some space to drive into. He's got a little bit clustered over on the right hand side. Moro now, deep in defence. George Frankham, lot of space. Ball not quite on. Look to rush that one. A lot of space out there for George, but in comes Josh Taylor. Big crunching challenge, all ball. Leatherhead have it on the right hand side. Chipped over the top. Looks to be going wide, but the Leatherhead attacker chases it down. Is he going to keep it? No, not quite. Once again, asking a little bit too much of that attack. Clear game plan here from Leatherhead. Really looking to hit those channels and get in between Dorking's centre halves. Back underway with Brennan Cap on the right hand side. To Noel McManus, back to Brennan. Josh Taylor in a little pocket on the left-hand side of midfield. Flicked around the corner into Charlie, deep once again. Frank Vincent out on the left here. Decides to go back inside to Moro. We're out right now with Jimmy. Looks 1v1. Let's go forwards or back. Goes back into Brennan. Back into the midfield. And once again to Jimmy. Really good play from the Wanderers here. Looking after the ball. Popping it right round midfield. Here's that crossfield ball once again out to Frank Vincent. 1v1 against his man. Cuts inside. Back into Moro. Bit of space in the middle if we can get it there. Louis picks it up. Back into Niall in the midfield. Looking for that crossfield ball again, but it's a little bit tight this time. Jimmy plays it though. Over to George. Offside flag is raised against George Frankham. Free kick just outside of the Leatherhead box, lofted forward by Wheeler again to the left hand side, won nicely by Brennan Camp, headed down, free kick that's going to be. Bit of a tussle from Charlie, didn't look too much in it, but the Leatherhead player has gone down and there's a free kick just on the edge of the final third here. Looks like they're going to load the box, a few big targets to aim for. Ross Stepney at the back post looks the biggest out of the lot. Niran Butler as well in there. Let's see how the Wanderers deal with this. Alfie's marking Ross in here, so if the ball comes back it'll be an interesting battle. It is into Ross. Harrison comes in, claims nice and easy. Frank in a bit of space here. Played out on the left hand side, bit short for Alfie. He's done very well to get there first. Frank Vincent cuts inside. George had a lot of space. The ball is played over to George. A lot of space out on the right, but not too much support for now. He's cut back in. Tried to play it around the corner for Jimmy, but not quite the right pass. Cleared away by Sonny Wheeler. Up into the air. Really well won by Brennan once again. back into the Leatherhead midfield. Bit of space out here on the right. Played just behind Corey McKimby, who looks to run 1v1 against Frank Vincent. First bit of defending we will see Vincent do. Cuts out to the left, and now Jimmy's out there 1v1 against his man. Cut back into the edge of the box. Cut inside, looks to shoot, has a shot. Cleared really well by Brennan. He seems to be getting his head on absolutely everything so far this game. As Leatherhead have the ball for a throw-in. They've thrown it down the line. Brennan 1v1, holding off his man. One back by Dorking into the midfield. Niles picked it up, back to goal. Cleared up ahead. Alfie's tussling though. Doesn't win it. Leatherhead defender has it on the far side next to the dugout. Great challenge in there. Leatherhead throw in right next to the dugout and the gaffer. Number 9 for Leatherhead has come short to try and get that early, but a bit packed out there. Quite similarly to Dorking, there's a lot of space on this far side. Karim McKimby has scored quite a few goals for Leatherhead this pre-season. He's got a lot of space out here and no one really near him, but they've not been able to find that ball out to him as of yet. Bobbling around the Leatherhead defence, seems to have dealt with it. Goalkeeper clears once again, skewed it off into Frank Vincent. Time for a touch, great touch. Looked after it, Alfie touching, tried to play quick, not quite on the same wavelength as Josh Taylor, and Leatherhead come away. Their strikers run just a bit offside, not left that pass available, but they've got it back inside. Bit of space out here on the right, and onside here. If he can collect it, the number 20, slid in, kept it in. Is he going to deliver? He is. Chips into the middle, cleared once again by Brennan Camp. Josh Taylor picks up a midfield. Foul on there. Charlie had the ball to play on, but not too much of an advantage. The refs pulled it back for a Wanderers free kick and a little bit of a reset with 6 or 7 minutes left of the half. Restarted then by Louis, back to Harrison Folkes. Brennan on the right, George really high on this far side. Really impressed by the wing-backs so far, stretching this pitch really well. Charlie once again picking it up after some clever play from Jimmy. Looks into the far left, little bit much on that. Don't think Frank, he's given up early on it. Only gone out for a throw-in though, so Dorking can squeeze in if they want to. Left by the Leatherhead player for their centre half. Thrown down the line. Louis Annesley fighting again for it. Bit too much for him. Brennan wins it, clears it up, sends it right back over. Josh Taylor hustling for it, and it's the Leatherhead centre half who's hooked it long. Louis won another header and out for a Dorking header. Game's just been stopped. Brennan's not best pleased with the linesman here. He's asking for an offside. Not said anything too rude. Just pretty sure it was offside. Looks like the liner's just said, I've not seen it. Get on with it. Wanderers back underway. Frank Vincent on his left-hand side. Needs to come out really tight there. Moro's done well though. Josh Taylor out on the left. Can he cut it back inside? He can. Into midfield. Late. Very late. Referee hasn't seen it, I don't think. We play on. Brennan into Jimmy. Space around the corner. Another tough challenge there from Leatherhead. It's getting a little bit touchy at the end of this first half. Couple of fouls there. Potentially another one of those on a league day could have been a booking. Dorking have a free kick just on the far side of the Leatherhead box, which they look to load up again. Brennan's won a lot of headers in this first half, so let's see if he can win one in the Leatherhead box. Jimmy just bringing himself back to his feet after a bit of a late tap on his ankle. He wants it short. We look ready to play now, not too sure the ref's ready. Still talking to one of the Leatherhead defenders. Frank Vincent standing over this. Could be a dead ball from him. Suits a left footer. Few steps back, one arm up. Hopefully that means back of the net. Swung in, bit of power on it, cleared. Only as far as Moro though. He's got the attacker chasing him down. Out to Charlie, who's out here on the left-hand side. Looking after it. Could do well to come back inside here. He does. Cuts in. Taking 3 on. Cuts it in. Josh Taylor across the box. Great challenge, but Josh has got it back. Inside the box. Chipped in. Louis Annesley here. Comes out to the edge of the box. Scuffed a little by Jimmy Mewett. Well worked though. Charlie Carter taking a few men on, making an angle for himself. Cutting it back across to Josh Taylor. Bounce just back off a deflection and not quite enough space for Dorking to get a real shot away. But once again, good football. As the keeper goes short this time. Wanderers chasing it down though, not leaving enough space. Frank Vincent has had it taken past him though. And the ball's over the top once again. Straight into the hands of Harrison Folks. Out to Brennan on the far hand side for Dorking. Jimmy coming deep as Charlie and Alfie have done so well. Picking the ball up, making space for the rest of the midfield. As Moro has it in the centre of midfield. Back out to Jimmy, who's fairly deep. Louis plays a nice one. Niall round the corner into Frank Vincent. Just on the edge of the Wanderers' third. Back into Niall. Louis again. Wanderers looking after the ball here. 4 minutes till the half. Louis held onto the ball for a few seconds here. Not in a rush to get rid of it, but some nice space out on the right with Brennan. Opts to go to Josh on his left-hand side. Josh cuts inside. Looks to be looking for that far side. Does look for that far side. Chip nicely into Brennan. Can he go line for George? Decides not to. Inside to Jimmy. He plays it back to Brennan. To Harrison. Louis picked up a nice space on the left-hand side. Frank Vincent's got some good space out here. Louis decides to go back into Harrison. Once again across to Brennan. Noel McManus in the midfield. Into Mora in the middle. Comes out left once again to Louis. Charlie coming a little bit too close. Doesn't need to. Into Charlie in midfield. Right next to Louis. Back across to Moro, who's taking up the centre-half position. Brennan now has it on the right side of defence. Out to George on the wide. Frank Vincent's hugging the touchline out here. Looks like he wants one of those crossfields. But the ball's a bit closer to him now. So he wants Louis to drive with it. Louis takes a touch, another touch, and he is driving with it. Cuts back, doesn't look too happy doing it. Very good ball into the midfield. Josh Taylor's picked it up, and we're out the right-hand side. Brennan Camp driving forwards. George, a lot of space once again. Hugging that touchline, gets it. Behind him. Not quite the pass. Patient play from Dorking, though. Leatherhead then with the throw-in. 2 minutes of play of the first half in that far corner. Played short, received it back off a 1-2. Bit scrappy on the edge of the box with Leatherhead, bouncing about a bit. Look to clear it now upfield. They do. They don't win the first header. Moro's taken a great touch off his chest, back into the midfield and into Josh Taylor. Bit of a skill there from Josh Taylor, giving the ball up. Didn't need to do it. There's a lot of space out here on the right. They've got it in there. Number 19. Unfortunate. Wasn't quite on his toes for that. It's taken an unfortunate touch and it's bobbled out. Nice space opened up there. Not too sure how happy the lads will be with Josh's flick in there. Seemed a bit of a 3-0 pre-season move. Not something I hope we see too much this season. Ball's played into Jimmy's feet. Deep once again. Looks back into Brennan. Space is out for Harrison and once again for Louis if we can get it there. Louis being told to drive with it. Moro in front of him. Moro's now got the ball back into Louis. Louis space to drive into. Back across to Niall. Niall looking for that crossfield pass. Opts against it into Charlie in that middle. Bobbling touch over someone's head. The midfield there. Taken out to the far right side. Plays it into George. George to Charlie. Charlie looks inside. Jimmy's inside there. Moro's got a lot of space. Charlie gets it back. Takes it left of his man. Tries to break the line, but he's had it nicked off him by the Leatherhead midfielder. Played really nicely. Taken round Frank Vincent. Dived in again. A lot of space here. Dorking have won it back. Bit of a tumble from both. No foul in there. Frank Vincent's done very well to win that back. Louis gone down here. Looks off the ball, and this looks like a problem. The Wanderers play on for now. George Frankham on the right-hand side. Tried to deliver the ball in out for a corner, but worrying this for Louis Annesley. Down in the Wanderers' half. Didn't look a lot of contact in there. He's got his head in his hands. Harrison's come across to Check what's wrong with him. He's holding the top of his left leg. Doesn't look too happy with himself here. Hopefully nothing too serious, but not much contact on that. Physio over here now for Louis as the ref decides to come over and check out what's going on. If you didn't see it, I'm not too sure if it was on camera there due to the transition, but the ball's been played up by Leatherhead. Louis gone at it. There was no contact, and he just held just the front of his quad. He's being held back up now. It looks like he can walk, but he looks like he's coming off this near side. Looks like he's heading towards the tunnel, which would be a massive shame. Let's see. Hairbands off. Yeah, unfortunately, looks like that's going to be the end of Louis' evening. Real shame that. Had a really confident start. Hopefully nothing too serious as the Wanderers get back underway. We're into added time now. And the Wanderers have it out. Frank Vincent now on that far side, looking to take his man. Right foot, left foot, puts the ball in. Not enough on it though from his right foot. And the referee has called us there for half time. Wanderers go into the break 3-0 up with 2 goals from Alfie and a brilliant finish from Charlie. Really good start from Frank Vincent. 2 assists. Into the half we go. Welcome back. We are just coming back out from half-time. The Wanderers lead 3-0 in the Advertiser trophy here at Meadowbank in the first home pre-season game. Very strong start from the Wanderers. 2 goals from Alfie Rutherford and a great finish from Charlie Carter, who looks to be doing his warm-down as a few of the other lads are out. We're expecting a fair few changes here for the Wanderers as it is pre-season, and they are, of course, 3 goals to the good already. Just want to say a quick thanks whilst we're still in a break of play to everyone tuning in. Seen there's a fair few people on the YouTube, but we got up to 4,000 at one point on Twitter, so big thank you for tuning in. If you are on Twitter, please go over to Dorking Wanderers YouTube and subscribe. Join the movement, get down to Meadowbank this season. We do have a few more games here coming up. The Wanderers pre-season, the next 2, we're away to Sholing on Saturday the 19th, and then back here for what will be a great game against Aldershot on the 26th of July. So if we can pack that out on Saturday the 26th, that will be very, very nice indeed. Anyone new here, those 4,000 on Twitter, if you fancy it, get yourself down here. I can't promise good weather, but I'll do my best. Currently got 10 Wanderers players out on the pitch, warming up. I can tell you for sure that number 31 and number 35, Seb Tauta Caballero and Jack Saunders are 2, doing a few sprints. They're on their own near the halfway line. Then having a bit of a play around with the ball, I can see Tony Craig, who we'd expect to see. We also have one of the trialists. We have 2 this evening. Not sure we'll see both, but for sure number 14 looks to be making his way onto the pitch here. Pretty intense warm-up. Little far side keep ball. Mark White strolls back across the pitch, cup of tea in hand, happy as ever. Here we go then. The lads of both teams making their way back out onto the pitch. Looks like a fair few changes here. So I'll piece the team together and I will once again run through it for you guys as it is a pre-season friendly. Obviously forced into an early change that we probably didn't have planned, with Louis Annesley going down in the final minute of the first half, holding the top of his left leg. Hopefully nothing too serious. And with it being a pre-season, he's decided to take himself off. But we will have to update you on that once this game is finished and the guys have had a chance to look at him. Both teams back out on the pitch now. The referee is just taking himself to the centre spot to put the ball down. I'm sure it won't be too long before we get the second half underway. Any of you that popped out at half time, once again, thank you for being on the stream, whether you're on YouTube or X. Heard there's a fair few of you. Hopefully we can see you down at Meadowbank. The next game here will be Aldershot at home on the 26th of July. If you are watching on X, please go across to our YouTube. Subscribe to us there for a lot of content. Any new signing content, Mark White content, which I'm sure a lot of you are here for, and all other news. Here we go then. Leatherhead with the kick. The ref has given us the signals. Both keepers are ready. And we look ready to get back underway. Wanderers go into the half 3-0 to the good, and we're back underway here at Meadowbank. One well in the air by Jack Saunders. Denham with his first touch at Meadowbank. Back into the Leatherhead defence. Across the back line here. High press again. Denham really chasing the keeper down once again. As we saw, the trend of the first half, sent long by Sonny Wheeler. Referee's given a foul there against the Wanderers. Harrison collects that long ball forwards, hopeful, as Tony's got the ball in the left centre half. Plays it out to Frank Vincent, who looks to be operating quite deep now on the left-hand side. He's flicked it over to Seb Tauta Caballero. Hooked back by Leatherhead into the Dorking defence. And Seb to pick it up again. Wins the header quite nicely and Denner can come away with it. Jimmy's got it in the middle. Comes out to the left. Unfortunate pass. Picked up by the Leatherhead defender. Back to the centre-half position. They've got some space here on the near side to drive into. Niles chasing him down. Jimmy in support. Can they win it back? Bit of a bob win to midfield. Won quite well by Jack Saunders. Lofted up into there. Looks like a Dorking throw-in. Into the midfield of Dorking. Niall has got the ball. Tries to clip it over to Brennan here. Brennan's picked the ball up. A lot of space in the edge of the box. Cut back into the box. Leatherhead up. Cleared only as far as Jimmy Mewett. Headed out to the left. Frank Vincent's going to hit one. Does. Straight down the throat of the keeper. Leatherhead keeper here. Plays it out to the right as we're just getting news of the confirmed substitutions. Left-hand side, Wanderers now. Denon Lewis cuts inside, puts a good ball in, punched away by the Leatherhead keeper into their midfield as they take it away now. Coming down their left, Brennan comes to engage the number 11. Picked off in the middle by Jack Saunders, one back by Jimmy, and Wanderers pick it up in midfield.
Niall McManus now driving forward with it. Tries to play a cut ball. Comes into Denon. Great defending, but picked up by Vincent. Cuts in on his right. Is he going to have a shot? Goes back on his left. Still space. Cuts back in. Denon Lewis shot. Over the bar. Goal kick to Leatherhead. And that means a bit of time for me to run through the new team. So we've got Harrison, number 1. Brennan Camp. Tony Craig, who's just joined us. Niall McManus. Jimmy Mewett. Denon Lewis, who we'd like to welcome for his Meadowbank debut. Number 14, looks to be playing pretty close to Tony Craig, is a trialist who I'm not privy to the name of. 18, Luke Moore, as Brennan clears away for the Wanderers, back into the middle, and Leatherhead pick it up on the far side. Frank Vincent looks to get it, but the number 19's taking it away, driving down that far right-hand side. 1v1 versus against Frank Vincent, cuts inside the box. He's made his way in, still twisting and turning. He's got around Frank Vincent, cuts it back into the number 9, saved by Harrison Folks. To make up the rest of that Dorking team, we've got Seb Tauta Caballero, Frank Vincent still, and Jack Saunders. As Niall has a ball on the far side, tries to play a clever ball forwards, but just Moro up there. Back to the Leatherhead goalkeeper, who looks to chip out to the left, but it's not a great ball, and Jimmy's picked it up. He's driving through the middle. He could go on his own here. Opened up space, left-footed shot, saved away by the goalkeeper. And the Leatherhead defender's taken it just off of Denon's toes. Down the line here. Brennan with some great pressure. Looks like there's going to be a foul. Tough one. Leatherhead trying to take this from a little bit too far forwards, but in the spirit of a friendly, the refs let him have it. Out on the right-hand side of the midfield. Far right now, Frank Vincent 1v1. Tries to go past Frank, but really good defending. What a home debut he is having. 2 assists in the first half if you missed them. Now putting a really good shift defensively. Wanderers throw in, far side. Lofted forwards, gathered by the Leatherhead defence. They pick it up, but they've chipped it back in. Tough ball to deal with. Now, Tony's got it right side of the fence. Brennan on this far right side, and Harrison now opts to play quickly, as he did much of the first half. Ball's played into Moro, didn't quite make it. Seb has picked it up, challenged by the Leatherhead midfielder, and then number 9 is now holding off the Dorking defender. One back into the try list, turns quite nicely. He is playing the left side of the fence here, next to Tony Craig. Tony now bringing it out, wearing the captain's armband for this second half, driving into the space. Seb just in front of Brennan here, has picked up a nice bit of space. Can he drive in? He does. Not quite the best ball. He's won it back though. Jimmy now running at his man. Plays a nice ball through. Denon 1-on-1. Can he finish? Just inside the left-hand post. Great finish by Denon. Really good football. Jimmy with the assist, but I've got to say it's really good play from Seb. Picked up one of those really nice deep spaces that we saw Charlie and Alfie do in that first half. Out here on the right-hand side, just between the defence and the midfield. Made a bit of space. Slightly clumsy with it, but he battled his way through. Got it through to Jimmy. Flicked it around the corner. Denon 1-on-1. Tight angle, but he's put it right into that far corner. That is 4-0 to the Wanderers. 51 minutes on the clock. And a home debut goal for Denon Lewis. Back underway then. We are 4-0 up in the Advertiser trophy. And Leatherhead have the ball at the back. Dorking opting to carry on with this press. Denon Lewis is charging down the centre half. Brennan as well, really tight to his man. Slips though, and a bit of space. Played through the middle. Trialist, number 14, is hot in pursuit. Played back out to number 14. Bit of space here for Leatherhead. He's turned. Cut out to the right. A lot of space out the top that the Wanderers were finding earlier is opening up a little bit now, with the change in defence for the Wanderers. Leatherhead have it on the far side. Played one inside. Looked to turn into that midfield. Quite congested though. Looks like it's going to be tough to get out. Tries some skills. Seb's hustling, but doesn't quite get the ball off of him. Potentially a foul in there. Yep, ref's blown for a foul, with Leatherhead opting to go backwards with the ball. Wanderers fans in fine voice in the bank tonight. First pre-season friendly back as Leatherhead line up for this free kick. A few steps away from the Wanderers box on that far right hand side. There's a lot of height in this box now. Leatherhead look to have a bit of an advantage. with a number 21, Jacob Breakin. Quite a clear target here. Ref's whistle's gone. Ball looks to be put in. Delivered by Leatherhead. Right in there, but Moro's won it. Only as far as the edge of the box. Number 10 looks to clip it back in. He does so. Free ball in here, and number 21, with all the time in the world, has tried to hit it first time. Plenty of time for a touch. Looked offside with the space he had, but I don't think he was. Unfortunately, a touch too heavy away from goal, and the Wanderers get us back underway. Niall with the ball out on the left. Chipped ball over. Frank Vincent's got a lot of space, but it's in between himself and Luke Moore and dealt with by the Leatherhead defence. Tony Craig now with the ball. Plays it across to the try list. Back into that midfield. Pops back. Good triangles from the Wanderers again. Patient play. Not rushing anything. Waiting for those deep runs. Ball over to Jimmy. Great touch. He's 1v1 against his man. Is he going to go out or in? Opts to go out. Challenged by the Leatherhead defender, but he wins it back as he did in the first. Delivers into Seb. Seb, nice touch. Collected by the goalkeeper. Or have we got a corner? We've got a corner. Not quite in time. That was a close one. Jimmy does that so well that the amount of times he'll lose that ball in that far corner and just find a way around his man. One of the goals we had early on in this game was exactly that. He's done well to win the Wanderers a corner here. Definitely one of the reasons Mark keeps him in this team all the time. Frank Vincent out to take this corner now. Dennon's come short for it. I'd quite like to see him in the box. Looks like it's going in there. Delivered, front post, not enough on it. Not beat the first man. Dennon comes to collect. Played out to Niall McManus. Nicely out of that space. And the Wanderers are in the final third. Denon Lewis looks up, looks to swing it. Cuts back inside onto his left. Quite a few Wanderers players out on the right. Tony Craig now with the ball at the back on the left-hand side. Sorry, now Tony Craig with the ball. That was Jack Saunders before. Niall McManus with the ball at his feet. Looks into Seb, but Jimmy's picked it up. Bit of space to run into. Is he going to go for a 1-2 here? Denham picks it up. Stands his man up, holding it on the edge of the box. Looks to play a ball over the left. Too much. Clips it onto Jimmy, and Leatherhead now have the ball in the attack. Very well defended there by Dorking. Tony Craig, I believe, dealing with that. Goalkeeper's come with a head there after a back pass. Leatherhead have it in the far corner. Frank Vincent doing very well to win it back, but there's not much in the box for him. Hits it off the Leatherhead defender. Leatherhead challenge. Looks like a corner once again. Yeah, despite the protest from the Leatherhead defenders. That looks pretty good from here. Another corner to Dorking. Luke Morrow looking to take this corner quickly. Maybe he's opted against. He's going to wait for Tony Craig. Brennan wanted that one in earlier. If you saw the first half, he was winning absolutely everything. So I think he wanted a clear run at that. Ball swung into the box. Front post again. Brennan's there. Hits it front post. Great save by the goalkeeper. Low corner. Not too dissimilar to the first one, but there was a lot of space in there that time. Whipped in and nearly knocked around the corner by Brennan. Just as I was talking about him winning every header, he nearly scores off his left boot. Back with Sonny Wheeler now. Expecting this as most in the first half to go long. We'll see how Tony Craig and the trialists deal with this one. Not too far, it's into midfield. Jack Saunders has won it. Leatherhead lofted back into the air. Pull back on the shirt there for sure. But Tony's cleared up. Not too sure how there was no advantage there. I think Mark shares that opinion. Can hear him all the way over here. Leatherhead have got us back underway. Down the far side, but Wanderers have won it back. Can they come out here? There's a lot of space if we can get it. Foul in the middle there, I believe, and a Wanderers free kick. Lot of space for Jimmy. Dorking not in a rush this time. Oh, Tony looked to take that quick. Was stopped. The ball still comes over here to Jimmy, but not enough on it. Collected by Brennan after a defensive. He's looked after it. He's won a throw-in. Taken a tumble. I think he's just taking his time on it. Brennan now with the throw-in. Seb's come short. Cut it into him. We've gone back across the defence to our try list, who's taken the ball with him. Run through the space. Cut it out to the left. To Frank Vincent on this left-hand side. Tries to cut in. There's a lot on it. Seb's done really well to get there, though. Back out to Seb on this left side. Frank again. There's only one Wanderers shirt in the box. Frank Vincent's cut inside. Has he gone outside? He has. Denham's got a bit of space. Crossed it in. Good defending by Leatherhead. It's out on the box. Chance for a shot. Scuffed wide, but Jimmy's going to collect this. Just outside the Wanderers. Brennan's come round. Cut a corner. That's a corner for the Wanderers. Sorry, mistake there on my end. Just outside the Leatherhead box. Corner to Dorking Wanderers. Morrow takes the ball over, but I'm pretty sure Frank Vincent's going to have this. Fairly confident start from our trialist here, playing at left centre half with Tony Craig. He's had one ball was a little bit too much, but defensively very sound. Frank Vincent out on this left-hand side. Morrow's got it back to Frank Vincent. Chance to shoot. He does so. Hits it quite nice and hard, but straight down the keeper's throat. As Leatherhead look to get us underway quickly. Not enough on. And they play short into their right-handed centre half. Chipped ball. He's put his left back under a lot of pressure here. And Brenner's chipped in late. Very late, very late. Free kick to the Wanderers there. Leatherhead left back was sold very short there with a chipped pass into him. Brennan saw his chance to jump in. Did so, went flying, won it back, and after a dodgy touch from Kelvin Masango, Brennan's nicked himself a free kick. Jimmy's walking over to this. We're on the referee's whistle, and we've got two more substitutions, it looks like, for the Wanderers. Niall McManus is one coming off, and Frank Vincent is the other. Great debut. 2 assists, very good defensive play in the 15 minutes or so we've had in this half. Very good display. Wanderers with the free kick here. Morrow and Jimmy standing over it. Loaded up the box once again. Looks like Morrow's going to be taking this. Jimmy's just taking his defender away. Nice space to aim for with quite a high Leatherhead line. Morrow's going to swing it in. He does so to the back post. Good header in. Brennan, I think it was, won that header. I've been saying he's going to score one. Not quite. Good save from the goalkeeper. Tipped away for a Dorking corner. Morrow taking this quickly. We've cut inside here. Space out here for Dan Pybus. Is he going to hit a diag? No, he looks to come out here right. Back to Dan Pybus. Going to swing it in. Nowhere near enough on that. But luckily it's bounced out on the Dorking left. Gone down the line. Can we get a ball in the box? Straight into the keeper's hands. Referees just stopped the game there. Bit of argy-bargy. Not sure he'd be too bothered about that in a friendly, but he's not too happy with something, and he looks to have a chat with a few of the players here. "62 minutes in. Dorking Wanderers 4, Leatherhead 0 in this Advertiser trophy. 2 goals from Alfie Rutherford, Charlie Carter with a nice flick round the corner, and 1 from home debutant Denon Lewis. As Sonny Wheeler gets us back underway, lofted forwards into the Dorking half. Won well by Tony Craig into the Dorking midfield. Seb's fighting, but he's had it nicked off him by the Leatherhead. Leatherhead now in midfield, high pressure on them. Had to go back into defence. Looks like he might have to go back to the goalkeeper. He has done. And we know what usually happens when the keeper gets it. It has gone long. Taken down nicely by number 19. Pybus in pursuit. Is he going to win it? He's going to fight. Pybus slipped. Played nice in. The attackers pinned Tony Craig. Hands on from Tony Craig. Could be a foul in there. Yep. Foul's been given. Potential for an advantage there for Leatherhead, but with the big man out the game, free kick's probably the right thing. A little bit too much from Tony there. A bit too tight to his man. A lot of holding going on. Free kick just inside the Dorking half for Leatherhead. Chipped ball over, trying to catch us early. Tony Craig clears up. Picked again by Leatherhead on the right side of the box. A lot of space out on the far side. Leatherhead have cut inside, put a ball to the back post, not much on. Brennenkamp sees it out comfortably. I've picked up some good spaces this evening. Not quite had that final pass though. A few in the first half on the floor, bit too much power on it, and a couple now just a bit long on the crosses. Harrison Folkes walks the ball out for Dorking. Passes across the defence to Tony Craig, who plays through the middle to Morrow, making one of those deep runs that Charlie was doing in the first, but nicked. Leatherhead now have the ball coming forward, chipped into the box. Brennan's bundled someone over, but at the back post is Leatherhead's number 11, cuts inside, bobbling about in the box. Looks like Dorking have picked it up. Have come away clear with it, cleared it down the line. Denon in pursuit. Can he nick it here? He can. Just a bit too much, and it's out for a throw-in. We look good on the turnover though. Morrow is running his heart out to get to the goalkeeper here. Keeper's panicked, thrown it out. Can they play quick? Denon's thrown it quick into Morrow. Morrow's turned in the box, out to Jimmy. Little bit too much. Quick thinking. Jimmy's still on the ball here. Cuts inside as the goalkeeper gets a serenade from the home fans. Dan Pybus in midfield now. Cuts it back to Brennenkamp. Across the defence to our trialist. Tony Craig, last man on the ball. Dan Pybus picking up the nice midfield spaces. Got some space to drive into if he wants to. Morrow comes deep, but not with enough conviction. Pybus not enough on the ball either. Leatherhead look to break again. This is what they had in the first half. Didn't make use of it. Good defensive work there. Leatherhead still have the ball. Bit of a fight on that far side. Free kick given the Leatherhead way. Two bodies around the Leatherhead player. Maybe a bit too much. Free kick for Leatherhead. Taken quickly, chipped over the top. Not on the same wavelength. One of those balls again, just a little bit too much. Players not quite on board. Dan Pybus with the ball in midfield now. Takes it forwards and we're back to Brennenkamp here. Sold Jimmy short. And Leatherhead are back down this left-hand side, running at Brennenkamp. Cutting inside the box. Looks like a shot, straight down the keeper's throat. Slightly more turnover in the second half. Looks like a couple of tired legs out there. A few short passes. We've got both Brennan and Jimmy who have played now the full 65. Here we go though. After I'm saying that about Jimmy, he's had the ball played over the top. Is he going to run his man? Holds it up. Comes back into Denon Lewis. Seb makes a good run. Seb's got the ball here on the far right side. Can he cut it inside? He does. Cuts it back. No one there for him. Not a bad ball from Seb. He's looked good since he's come on. Nice fight there from Tony Craig. Leatherhead players down holding his head. Not too sure why. The Wanderers play on. The ref's going to stop this. Nothing I saw there of a head injury, but just in case, we'll stop the game. As the physio comes on now for the Leatherhead number 21, Jacob Brecken. A few of the Wanderers players taking a chance to grab a drink as the referee looks to get us back underway. Leatherhead number 21 has trudged off, not holding his head, so I think he's okay now. Should be a Dorking ball in the far left corner of the Leatherhead half. Here we go then, back underway. 23 minutes left of this Advertiser trophy. Dorking 4-0 to the good. Played inside to Jack Saunders, who turns back into Tony Craig. Back into Jack Saunders, who's assumed the right centre-half position so he can get on the ball. Played into Brennan Camp. And back once again to Saunders. Tony now with the ball. Played a nice crossfield pass. Looks to be reaching over. Perfect ball over to that far left-hand side. Heavy touch. Played inside. Not cleared well by Leatherhead. However, they now have it right back position. Look to clear up the line. And it's out for a throw-in. A couple of tired legs out there. Jimmy looks to be holding the top of his left. Just up by his hamstring. Hopefully doesn't overdo it too much. Scrappy in that far corner. Leatherhead looked to have come away with it. Pybus won it well. Bit late from Leatherhead there. A few that we saw at the end of the first half like that. Started to creep in. Late one. Pybus looks fine. Wanderers free kick just inside the Leatherhead half. Play quickly by Tony Craig, but way behind Dan Pybus, and he's had to go all the way back to Harrison Folkes. Across to Craig. Driving now. A couple of steps through the defence. Back to Pybus on this right-hand side. And again to Tony Craig. Folkes now picks the ball up. Tony now looking to play that ball over the top. It's reached Jimmy's chest. Brennan's gone round him. He's tried to play him the ball a bit too early though. Leatherhead come away with it. Number 14 down this left-hand side. Jimmy's chasing him. Potential offside in there, but different players picked it up. Wanderers have won it back. Morrow now. Bit of space for Brennan if he wants to drive into it. Brennan does. Bit of space in the middle if he can deliver. Great ball in. Saunders, I believe, tumbles just as he's about to get his shot away. Leatherhead come away. Seb fighting in there. 1-2, wins it again. Very good hustle, but unfortunately Leatherhead have come away. It's a striker offside in a lot of space. If he got that ball, it would have been clear through 1-on-1. Just in the Wanderers' half. Throw in to Leatherhead as it's broken down. Leatherhead look to go down the line here. They do. Lofted into the air. Taken down. Great challenge in there on that far side. Another Leatherhead throw in. Game slowed a bit. Complimented it earlier for not looking too much like a pre-season game. Really good intensity in that first half, but a little slower now. Some tired legs. Can't say I'm too sure on how many Leatherhead changes were made, but everything's a little bit slower. Back in play here. Dorking have won the ball back. Leatherhead have it on the far side. Up the top. Few players done here. Chance for a shot. Plays it into the middle. Brennan Camp picks it up in the middle of defence. Looks to usher it out of play. The Wanderers comfortable to play with it there. Not in too much of a rush to get rid of it. Passing it around the back. Really good football. Brennan picks it up. Into Jimmy. Can he look after it? Tries to turn around his man. Tired touch. And Leatherhead win it back. Jimmy's fighting though. Won it back for Denon. Denon tries to play Moore in, who would have been through. Denon shakes his head in frustration and then chases the keeper down. Lofted up into the air. Won by Dorking. But a lot of space. Far side for Leatherhead. Really well defended by the try list. Looks very physical. Tony Craig tries to play the ball into Moore. Not quite enough on it. It's cut out by Leatherhead. They now have the ball back with Sonny Wheeler. Looks to clear long and does so. Pybus, good header. Back to Leatherhead defence. In midfield now. Jimmy fighting to get it back. Wins it back. Denon's in here if he can make it. Denon 1v1 with a goalkeeper. Same finish as last time. Great save by Sonny Wheeler. 1v1. Little bit closer to goal than he was that first time he scored. Good save. Tried to slip it through the keeper's legs. Didn't quite make it. This looks like it's going to be another substitution for the Wanderers here. Believe it is Luke Moore's evening over. As he gets a nice ovation from the Wanderers fans. Very good performance. Has played his time this half at the top of the pitch. Dropping in deep as Charlie did in that first half. Great performance from Morrow in his 8th season as a Wanderers player. Corner for Dorking Wanderers then. Dan Pybus walks over to it. Looks to play short, Denon comes for it. No, into the box we go. First man, unfortunately, headed out only as far as Jimmy. Jimmy wins it. Not quite enough into the box, and Leatherhead come away with it. Bit of a fight in there. Leatherhead have come away. Potential pull back there from Wanderers player. Yeah, free kick given. Confirming then that Moro has gone off in the 72nd minute and he's been replaced by trialist 15, who I also don't have the name of. He's playing up front now on the left-hand side with Denon, so with the remaining 15 or so minutes left, it'll be good to see what he can do. Hopefully he starts dropping into the pockets. Lifted up by Leatherhead to the Dorking half, but won back quite comfortably on that far-hand side now. Cut across the trialist at the back and into Tony Craig. Tony Craig, right-hand side of the defence, plays it across. Not as fast-paced, pretty keen to look after the ball now, the Wanderers. Not as many risks. Played across now to Brennan. Some space down the line. Jimmy comes for it. Flicks around the corner. Can Seb make it? No, he's beaten goal side, but he's going to hustle. Foul probably. Yeah, foul given. Wrong side of him. Tried a little bit too hard to win that back. Unlucky from Seb. Really good start from him. Really impressed by what I've seen so far in this half. Leatherhead number 14, Kelvin Masango, looks to get us underway. Niran Butler's pushed him off it, and he's going to chip it over the Dorking back line. Slices it outright. One back, pretty easy by the Dorking defence. Leatherhead have it back, but only in their half. Denon fighting for that ball back on that far side, wins it back, goes down the line, right on the touchline, takes it forward, tries to play it through, but hits the trialist back. Out again for Dorking. Jimmy picking up some space, Brennan taking his space around the outside, and Jimmy picking up this inside space that Brennan's made for him. Jimmy, time on the ball. Played out to Pybus, space as well. Come out left to our trialist centre half. He's done well to get a leg to it. Bobbling ball, played it to Denon. Tony's played it out wide to Brennan. Brennan touch inside to Jimmy. Really good football from Wanderers. Jimmy some space, into Brennan on this far right side. Brennan's cut in, left-footed cross. Good ball in, free header. Not enough on it. Really good football from the Wanderers. Not scared to use the centre halves to drag some players in. The referee has stopped it for a Leatherhead player who's gone down right next to the touchline, which looks like a change for them. Few players grabbing a drink as this Leatherhead player ambles off the pitch. Not sure if it's just the one substitution we're going to see here from Leatherhead or a couple, but a few of the lads taking the chance to get a drink with just under 15 minutes to go. Ref looks to get us back underway with a drop ball for the Leatherhead goalkeeper. And we're back on. Sonny Wheeler is going to pump it forward. Of course he is. Into the Dorking half. Not quite. Cleared out into his own bench. Throw into Dorking. Dorking taken early. Played back into the trialist. Across the Dan Pybus. Sorry, Tony Craig played that past the Dan Pybus. Seb's picked it up. Tell a lie, that's the new substitution. Chris Ewan has picked it up, number 34. He's occupying this right half space now. Pretty keen to get on the ball here. Harrison at his feet. Plays it out to Ewan. He's got Seb in front of him. Wants to take it forwards. Takes a few steps. Cuts it back into Tony. Gets it back again. Under a bit of pressure now. Deals with it. Back into Harrison. Some pressure for Harrison. Oh, takes his man very nicely. Nice turn back into Tony Craig. Dorking will do well to get out of this without taking too many risks. Good ball out into Seb. Tries to take his man. Well in there from Ewan and Seb. Good fighting. Dorking throw in that will be. Confirming then that Gabriel Jacks and Chris Ewan have joined us here for the last 12-13 minutes at Meadowbank as Leatherhead pick the ball up in the Wanderers half. Ewan fighting away there, but Leatherhead keep the ball. Bit of space, stolen off them by the Dorking midfield and out to this far left-hand side. A few fresh faces now, bit more energy. Out on the far left for Wanderers, cleared up by Leatherhead defence. Deep in midfield now, Leatherhead looking after the ball well, back to the keeper. Sent long. Tony Craig doesn't quite win that. There's space here for Leatherhead if they can win the header. Not quite. Wanderers win the ball back. Bit scrappy though. Leatherhead have it back again, just inside the Wanderers half. The number 11 looks to run Ewan here. He's going to take him one-on-one. He's gone inside. He's now got two on him. He's gone round the outside, easily round Ewan. Puts the ball in the box, hits the post. Miss kick from the Leatherhead player. Really unfortunate. Should have been a definite goal. Really good football by the winger out here. Leatherhead keep the ball. Look to go again. Bit of confidence now they've got. Maybe a few of those changes they've felt like they can take use. Out on the far side, looking to swing the ball in. 1v1 out here, the Leatherhead right back. Cuts inside, he's in the box now. Bit of a shirt pull. Still keep the ball. Leatherhead have it just inside the box. Lot of bodies. Be hard to get a shot off here. Still in there. 1v1 here. Finish. Great save from Harrison, folks. A good 10-11 bodies in the box there of both teams scrambling about. Somehow popped up to the Leatherhead attacker. Left-footed shot. Close to the goal. Harrison's got a good leg on it. Dribbled past the post and it's a corner for Leatherhead. Feels like a goal might be coming for them. Let's see how Wanderers deal with this corner. Swung in, right-footed, near post. One well at the front post by Wanderers and they come away with it. Here we go, bit of a turnover. Be nice to see them do something with this. Few bodies up. Denham's on this far side. Lot of space, but we've opted to go left. Running into the box, cutting in. Heavy touch there. Wanderers keep the ball with a throw-in in the final third. Played early into midfield. 10 minutes to play. Tony with his favourite pass out to the right-hand side. Leatherhead defenders jumped it with his arm. Got away with it. Leatherhead throw-in. Leatherhead come forward on this left side now. Played forward, but stolen in midfield by Dorking. Little bit sloppy. Denham's trying to chase it down. Leatherhead opt to go back. Surrounded. Wheeler once again opts to go long. Leatherhead win this time, but second ball gathered up by Tony Craig. Wanderers now have it on the far left-hand side. Cut inside. Looks like a shot here. Couple of deflections in there. Leatherhead fighting. Looks an okay challenge. Very strong. Ball in here. Ooh, with a little bit less on that. Leatherhead attacker would have been in. Strong challenge there from Leatherhead. Few fans wanted a free kick, but all ball. Out now on the left-hand side for Dorking Wanderers. Running at the defence. Cutting inside the box. Chance to shoot. Same as the last. Cut out at the last second. Leatherhead come away. Cut into midfield. Sloppy pass. Couple of them now. Tidied up by the Dorking defence, but only as much as the Leatherhead throw-in on the halfway line. Sent down the line. Flicked on by Leatherhead, but Tony Craig is there, as he always seems to be. Dorking come out with the ball. Scrappy in that deep midfield. Back across the Harrison folks. Trying to use this transition that we were doing so well in the first. Bit of space out here on the right half corner. Heavy touch in there. And Leatherhead have it back. Cut inside. Space out on the left. Chipped over the top. Nice run. Very wide. Looks to cut it across Leatherhead. Oh, maybe a hand in there. One-on-one against Harrison. Chips it over. Great save again. Harrison hasn't had too much to do this evening, but the few things he has done, he's done very, very well. 13 clean sheets last season. I'm sure he'll be wanting a couple more this season. I believe that the league leaders of clean sheets had 24 last year, so Harrison will be chasing after that, I'm sure. Really good pre-season game from him so far. Leatherhead corner, whipped in. Across the box, two up for it. Corner or goal kick, ref? Corner. Couldn't tell you from here. Looked like both the players had jumped. So he's gone the way of Leatherhead. Corner on that far side again. 7 players loaded into the box for Leatherhead. Right-footed out swinging corner. They'll want the same as last time. Find a bit of space. In it comes. Unfortunately not front post, but they've won it. Really well, Denon. Denon's done really well. Great burst of acceleration. Dorking are on the run here. 3v3. Here we go. 1v1. Dragged wide way too early by Gabriel Jacks. Snatched it. Had one of the Leatherhead defenders bearing down on him. Didn't have enough space to really run into, and he's dragged it a little bit too early wide. Goal kick to Leatherhead. Just had confirmation on the attendance here. 882 for the first Meadowbank home game. As I mentioned before, seems quite a few people watching online, which is great to hear. Thanks for tuning in. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. And if you're on X, go over to YouTube and subscribe. Definitely helps us out. And get yourself down to Meadowbank. Dorking have it in here. Shot early. Oh, it's a great finish. Wanderers make it 5. That will be the luck of me asking you to come to the next game, I'm sure. 5-0 to the Wanderers, taken really nice and early after a bit of a scrappy win back in the final third. Goal scorer, try list B. He gets a very nice reception from the Meadowbank crowd. I'm sure we're going to hear a few chants of try list B, try list B, try list B in a minute. Good stuff, 5-0. 6 minutes to play. Leatherhead get us back underway. Played forward into the midfield. Ref's going to give a free kick. Soft that. But with the scoreline where it is, sometimes happens. Leatherhead free kick inside their own half. It's been left. Looks like it's going to be loaded in. Niran Butler wants to load it. Has loaded it. Over the Dorking defence. Into the box, just outside of it. Bit of scrapping, Leatherhead come away with it. Back into midfield. In the final third now. Spread out wide. There's ball into the box, right to the far post. Hit across. Oh, it's a really good finish there. Goal for Leatherhead. Great ball in across. Quite flat. Not what you'd expect. But a really good ball and a great first time finish with his left foot. Jacob Bracken. 5-1. Clean sheet stolen with less than 5 minutes to go. Harrison for sure will be frustrated not to have kept that clean sheet. Nothing he could have done about that. Pretty close to his goal. First time shot on the left foot. A shame, but with wholesale changes at the back, sometimes it happens. Tony Craig chipped ball out to the left for Dorking. Over by the dugout. Bit of a tussle, and it's a Leatherhead throw-in. Throw-in down the line for Leatherhead. Held up well by the Leatherhead attacker, but won back by Dorking. Back into Harrison Folks. Looks to go short early. Does. Into our try list at the back. Confidently on his left foot. Looks to play over the top. Doesn't. Plays a really nice ball into the midfield. Denon now picked it up in that quarter space in between the two lines. Done well to keep it after trying to go forward. Kept hold of the ball. Releases it well. And Dorking looked to come out the other side. Try list has come across now to Pybus. Now down to Richardson on this close side. He's been hit at. He's now in a little bit of pain, but nothing on purpose there. Oh, it's actually the Leatherhead player who's gone down. Doesn't look too great. Holding his shoulder. Really unfortunate one. Just tried to win the ball back off Richardson. I think he's had a tussle and someone fall on him. The physio coming over now. 2 and a bit minutes to play. Hopefully it's not too serious, but it looked like his left shoulder as he went down there. Dorking 5-1 up in the Advertiser trophy with a few minutes to play. Looks a bit like Dorking are bringing one of their physios over now as well. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Leatherhead players stood himself up. Looks to be in a bit of pain. Leatherhead player is walking himself off slowly. Doesn't look to be in too much discomfort, but he's not moving that shoulder. Hopefully nothing too serious for Anas Igazun here. With a few minutes left on the clock, just want to remind you of the next few games that the Wanderers have. We're away this Saturday at Sholing, the 19th of July, and then back here for a big pre-season game against Aldershot, 26th of July. Be good to get as many people down here as possible. If you've enjoyed the game on YouTube or on X this evening, be great to see you down here. Have a look on our socials, X, Instagram, find out about ticket news. You can also find it on our website. Here we go, ref blows his whistle. Dan's going to get us underway for the last couple of minutes. Played over the top of the Leatherhead defence in this far side now. Looking after it well here, scrapping away Leatherhead. Wanderers keep the ball just about. Dan's cut it across. Shot on target, saved, parried though by the keeper. It's bobbling out on the edge of the box for Dorking. Another shot in. Oh, inside of the post. Really unlucky. Great left-footed shot. Leatherhead come away with the ball. That's one each with the woodwork now. Leatherhead look a bit lost for ideas with the ball here in their own half now. Trying to get out. Not too much coming with it. Dan's done a really good job. Oh, nice little nutmeg. The Wanderers are playing for fun now. Dan's in. Can he hit it? One of the Wanderers players down in a heap. I believe the ref has pulled it back for a free kick for a late challenge. Dan's done really well since coming on. It was a big miss last season when he was injured. So really good to see him out here playing as well as he is. Tidying up. Nice little nutmeg. Not quite his style, I'm sure he won't mind me saying. But very well done. Good to see him back playing for Wanderers. Looks like he fancies this free kick. Denon's going to tap it from short. No, he's not. He leaves it to Pybus. Pybus swings it in. Can't be the first man, but he's still in the box for the Wanderers. Bobbled out to the edge. Late challenge. Ref's given a free kick to Leatherhead. Into additional time now. Not too sure how much we're expecting of this. Haven't had the announcement. Sonny Wheeler set to kick it long. And the Wanderers fans are making sure he does that. I think that's going to be it for us here. Thank you very much for tuning in. That is Dorking Wanderers 5, Leatherhead 1 in the Advertiser Trophy for 2025. Goal scorers for the Wanderers, Alfie Rutherford 2, Charlie Carter, Denon Lewis and Trilist B. One right at the dead there by Jacob Bracken. Big thank you for everyone that tuned in this evening. Hopefully see you down here at Meadowbank on the 26th of July for the home game against Aldershot. Thank you very much, and I'm sure we'll catch you all soon.